Alright, what's up? I'm making this video for Archie, but also for the people. Skinny, here, ready to show you guys how to set up a bus and a quick vocal audio chain sort of thing. So, what have I got here? Got a track stack. Don't know how to make a track stack? Get an audio track open. Select a couple of the tracks by holding Shift, Command Shift G. That's going to make it stack. Alright, bang. Now on this stack, you can see here I've got just a compressor. I've just chosen a stock one, Studio Vocal. And I got the attack pretty short. Let's make the release even shorter. That's going to let more of the loudness of the voice come through. Keeping the attack open here lets the transients through. That's the shape of the voice come through. And we're not compressing too hard. We're pulling back a lot, so we are, but the ratio is low. So a little bit of compression is important because it makes your EQ hit a lot harder. Like, watch this. When I do this right here, there's a big effect, right? If I yeah. But if I remove the compression and I put the volume up, the EQ does not have as much of an impact when the volume's increased to a similar amount. Right? Like, they hear the volume's a similar amount to where it was before with the compression on, and that EQ is having way more of an effect. Crazy amount more of an effect in comparison. So, get the EQ happening. Let's cut the lows. Don't need them. Lowest the voice goes, put something at 200, like scale it, drag with this bit instead of dragging this shape all the time, and put it on, like 100 is low. So pick like 120, and then bring it up a little bit. Oh, too much. Make it thinner. See if that, listen to the sound of your voice and see when you prefer. And see a little bit higher, maybe that gets a warmer sound, that gets a lower sound. Around here is feeling good. And then I just dial it in with just the volume to see when you get that nice amount. I'm so close to the mic right now, so not important. Then move to 1K. See if more 1K helps, or if less 1Ks, depending on the sound, sounding good. And just drag up and down. And if you need to, you can make it thinner. That's going to give you a really It's going to give you a really telephonic sound when you bring it up, which can work really well. You can hear this in stuff like Bjork a lot, stuff like Deftones a lot. When you do a thin boost down like this as well, you can create a really clean sound. And just focusing on 1K instead of doing a bunch of other crap is going to give you some drastically different sounds to mess around with there, which you can hear by making it super extreme. When it comes down to it, try not to go over 5 dB as a general rule of thumb. If you're pushing more than 5 dB, there's probably a better frequency somewhere that's going to do more of what you want. So here I'm getting an air and a brightness that I like. That's not a telephonic sound. And then next 10K is really nice. I have a pretty weird lisp, so I put it up to like 12, and it just avoids that sound. And you'll hear pushing this quite a lot can bring a really nice brightness. So I'd start there. And then once you've done that, that's a pretty good place to start. Oopsie daisies. All right, here we go. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. 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 Archie, this is how I mix. Now you can keep duplicating tracks and just record really fast. This is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. My voice. This is how I mix my voice. Oh. My voice. This is how I mix my voice. My voice. This is how I. Alright, all in mono. Now, if you want, just give it a little whoop, give it a little like that. Just subtle. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. Alright, we're getting distracted. So, here, it's 2 effects. You know, nothing crazy. Maybe fuck it. Oh, I really don't want to swear on my channel. Oops. I can't really hear super well right now, but I'm guessing 6K is probably pretty bad. So the way that I push it till it's, I push it until it's like literally wiped, and then bring it to 0, and then hey, whisper, 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 whisper. Just bring it to a point where it's a little more controlled. Subtle. You know. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. Also, another quick tip. I mean, let's just blast a bunch of tips. Why not? When you have harsh S's, don't be afraid to just go Tool, press R for this little clip, and just how I mix my, and just get the S, and then press T and G for gain, and just freaking turn it down. To be honest, that. Gee, this is how I mix my voice. Right. I mix my voice. I mix my voice. I mix my. Yeah, the difference. Here's it just turned down. I mix my voice. So, you know, there's a lot of tools in Logic that you can do really quick stuff. That, you know. That's a really hard. Harsh as hell. Just turn it down. And because it's a lot of voices too, sometimes doing less on one of them can just. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, that's a little more subtle. Leave one of them louder. So, you know, it's a big difference. This is how I make. So that's one quick thing. So this is dry. Now, on to buses. So, here we go. Bus. Here it is. Create. Create track. So, now, this bus here, let me click on this. So this bus here sends everything that goes to Studio Vocal out to a new track. And it's literally just a double of it. So if you turn it up, you'll hear there's a double. So, what are we going to do with this double? We're going to turn it to reverb. Reverb, bang. So, pick a reverb. I'm not going to use one of my fancy ones because I don't need them. And just pick a plate. A nice plate. And make it 100% wet. And then wait a minute. I just put that on the stereo out. That's my fault. I did put that on the stereo output. That's my fault. Here it is. So, this is the reverb. Now, this is the bus called reverb, and it's just 100% reverb. If you solo and we can mix the parts that add to the voice that we like. So like that's giving it a nice air, that's giving it a nice warmth. This is gonna give it just some clarity. Cut 6K, boost everything else. Crazy clarity right there. And then you can make it longer. Why not? Make it more subtle. And then you've got some really interesting options. And that's super harsh and crazy, but turn it all the way down and start dialing it up until you can just barely hear it. Now you've got a really, really nice reverb there. And even if I get super loud, it hits the compressor, stays subtle for the dry vocal, but the reverb's not going to get too overpowered because that level's so low. And you know that if you turn this volume up and down, you're not going to mess too much with how much reverb is coming into play because it's in this separate little audio channel here. Now, why is this also so helpful? Because, first of all, let's fix this because this is trash. Let's go back to this echo and get rid of the lows because that's way too much right there. And then just boost somewhere around here that's giving us like a nice, and cut all this, cut all that. Yeah. So like, now, that's quite nice. Turn it down, bring it back up till it's really subtle. And that's, that's got a powerful effect to it, but it's like well dialed in. Now, if you want to bring a delay into things, your reverb and your delay are not going to be crossing over each other. So let's make a new bus there. Let's put a delay on there. Stereo delay, but faster, way faster. Oh yeah, I need to take this AirPod out for a sec. Yeah, how's that? Terrible. Well, let's look. Nah, this is horrible. I usually use a Soundtoys thing, but let's use something Logic. Yeah, tape delay. That's what we want. Spread. Maybe like that. Yeah, that could be nice. Right there. And so that slap back now is not having all of that reverb chain go into it. It's just a clean slap. If we get rid of the reverb, which we can just mute it there nice and easily, without messing up like how loud this signal's getting because it's not on the same chain, we can dial this in to a point where it's just adding a nice, make it warmer, like around there. That's good. Get rid of some of this. And then when you dial this in, suddenly you've got this really nice double effect. And it's not getting muddied up by the reverb. It's totally separate. So here's the dry vocal, and then the dry vocal with the delay, dry vocal with the reverb, dry vocal with both. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. And if this sound isn't doing it for you, because you're like, nah, fuck, this is too like R&B, clean, whatever, just bring this down, bring this up to something more awkward. Chill out on the compressor, chill out on this. Bring the level down of the voice, bring the reverb way more up so that it's at a sort of equal level, bring the delay up so it's almost at an equal level as well. Give more power to the delay there in the low end. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. If you want the Archie, this is how I mix my voice. You can start to get more of a blended sound by just changing the EQ and the reverb. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. And at such a level, I don't see any problem with doing some, like, because the reverb's so low, I don't see any problem with cranking it to a crazy amount if you're getting a good result. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how... And then, finally, the thing we talked about, like, let's bring it in for the second phrase. So we know what the good level is. It's 20. So let's just bring it in for the second. Archie. And just for kicks, we'll make the delay slightly louder for the first phrase. Just to, I don't know. Why not? Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I'm... Okay. Too obvious, so then we'll make it more of a lead in. This is how I mix my voice. Yeah, that's nice. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. There's one other way you can do it. Keep the reverb at 20. Okay, it's a bit too loud now. This is how I mix my voice. So what you can do instead, go to the reverb send, bring it down to 0. Change this to latch, hit play. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. You can manually bring up the amount that you're sending into the effect there. That's another way you could go about it, you know, it's whatever. Do it either way. And final thing. I don't know, what else do you want? What else can I... How long has this been going? 17 minutes? Alright, I don't know. What else do you want to see? I mean, yeah, let's just show how freaky we can get. Why not? Look, you can use any Logic plugin, but I'm just going to show you what I use. It's just a delay. But you just keep adding more buses. And it's so safe for the, you know, like, the whole signal or whatever. Yeah. Oh, that is a great delay, though, I won't lie. So we'll just call this Echo Boy. And... Archie, this is how I mix my voice. Archie, this is how I mix my... Yeah, you know. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my... Archie, this is... Still not right, but when you dial it in manually, and it's a little bit off. Archie, this is how I make... Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I make... Yeah, so it's a little bit off right now. So bring it down to 0. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. And that little bit of offness when it's just barely hearable. Archie, this is how I mix my... Let's compare. Archie, this is how I mix... Archie, this is how I mix my... And that's no reverb. That's no reverb. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. And then... just go full freak. Here's a phaser. You can use the Logic one, but I like this one. There's a Bryson Tiller outro that uses this exact preset. Yep. Yeah. A little bit less. Yep. Okay. Back to latch. Nope, not right. Not right. Latch. Yeah. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. You know, we went a little too crazy there, I felt like. But, you know, just delete all this, delete all that. Yep. And delete that too. We got a rough idea of. This is how I mix my voice. You know, you can bring little. Don't dial it all the way in, but. This is how I mix my voice. That adds a wideness though. This is how I mix my voice. Just a little bit of phaser in there. And if you're nervous about as well, like plugins maybe messing when you're not using them, like say you only want to use it for one line, just keep it off. Archie, this is how I mix my voice. This is how I mix my voice. I don't know why that one didn't record right, but yeah. This is how. There you go. So yeah, that's all my tricks. So, sum up: compressor first because it makes the EQ more impactful. EQ really can have a major effect on the tone. Oh, we've been doing this insane EQ for the second half of the video, but whatever. And then after that, hit it with the DSO, spit out the buses separately, create the 100% effect, like FX send, and yeah, this has been real skinny. Bye.